Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen podcast. I am your beautiful, lovely, and now 40-year-old host, BoredGamer, and I'm joined as well by the lovely Zinnia. Say hello, lovely Zinnia.
Hello, lovely Zinnia.
Perfect. That joke will never get old, unlike us. Alpha 4.1.1. That's coming soon. That's a new patch. We're going to get these monthly now. We're going to be talking about new patches regularly. We've got 4.1 hotfixes. We've got CitizenCon Direct, CIT have announced, and a new referral program, which has caused a little bit of grumpiness from some people. But it's interesting. But we're talking about these things. But first, how you doing, Zin? You right?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. So Zin is going to be forcibly coming round to play board games regularly.
You can't force me.
Well, but you are coming like monthly, aren't you?
Well, not sort of.
And you want to come, don't you?
Yeah, kind of. It's not forcibly.
Feels to me like it's forcibly. We're doing it regularly. That's the word.
Yes.
Perfect. But yeah, we're playing board games regularly now, and we're playing some Slay the Spire, which is absolutely fantastic as a board game. We finished Pandemic Legacy Season 1, which we've been playing since before the pandemic.
No, we hadn't.
Had we not?
No, we started it in 2023.
No.
Yes. We literally had this conversation.
No, been longer than that. 100% been longer than that. No, there's no way that it's only been 2 years.
It's only been 2 years.
No. Okay,
it's literally written down in the back of the book.
Okay, well, maybe I made that up. Something I don't make up, Sin, is the Star Citizen news. It's Alpha 4.1.1. It's probably coming out this week, to Eva Cardi anyway.
Yeah.
So, do we have any idea what's going to be in this patch? Well, sorry, I suppose I should say, do you?
No.
I'm thinking that it's obviously going to have a new event going on, because it's new missions, new event. That's what happens with the monthly patch cadence. Something to do with either sandworms or the regen crisis, or, and what has potentially been being teased, Nyx. And it might not be huge things, but it might be stuff leading up to this. So in the newsletter, there was a little asteroid, a giant asteroid shown, which I think is actually part of Nyx. And them releasing a new star system, which isn't too complex a star system, fits in with CIG's monthly patch cadence, in my opinion anyway. Do you think that's possible? Do you think we could see Nyx within the next few months or by the end of the year?
Yes. I think people have been saying that they've been working on Nyx for quite a while, actually.
Yeah, they had. Obviously, we had Delamar, the big asteroid from Nyx, in the Stanton system for a while.
They've redone that now, so...
Well, yeah, indeed. Obviously, they moved it out. They've redone it. We saw a load of updated Nyx stuff at CitizenCon. Yeah, so I think it's very likely we'll see Nyx later this year, and it could be actually sooner rather than later. We do know as well that in the middle of 4.1.1 cycle is Fleet Week. So that's going to start probably the 16th of May, potentially the 23rd, but probably the 16th of May. It's one of the biggest Star Citizen events of the year, especially for them from like a financial point of view, but also when you're talking about getting new players into the game, people actually playing, that sort of stuff. What do you think of Fleet Week? Is it something that excites you because of all the stuff that's happening, or is it meh?
I like partaking in the, like, chasing the fleet and stuff.
Yes. So it's not supposed to be chasing the fleet, but that's what seems to happen because you're trying to work out what the fleet's going to be. So loads of stuff happens during Fleet Week, or has historically happened. So you have the UE fleet and some big capital ships, some military ships all flying around, going to the different places in Stanton. And you've had like Bengal carriers flying around before, Javelins, Idris. You have tours of these ships sometimes as well with the Javelin and Idris. You can go on board them, have a look around. There's some voiced actors talking about the ship and stuff. It's pretty cool, and because they keep on moving around to the different major landing zones, you have to sort of chase the fleet around and work out where they're going to be next. And Star Citizen hasn't always been the most stable when it comes to quantum travel. Previously, that's been sometimes quite hard, and obviously sometimes the fleet just doesn't turn up or whatever, or someone's tried to fight it or something. So some interesting stuff there, and I think this year could be, because of the content-driven stuff, we could potentially have quite a lot more there. We could have some missions associated with this. Obviously, we have the sort of expo. One of these major landing zones has an expo hall, and you can every day or every other day see some new ships and rent them for free, and there'll be a load of new ships and vehicles on sale as well. CIG make a huge amount of money, and so far in 2025 they've made more money than they had any year previous by this time. So are you expecting more at Fleet Week, or are you just expecting just more of the same?
Probably more of the same. Obviously, new ships, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, it would be foolish for them not to release a load of new ships and vehicles, right?
Yeah. Maybe a step up on the fleet.
Yes.
Because obviously before it was just a javelin and some hammerheads and stuff flying around. And then obviously then they added was it the javelin tour they added first?
Was it I think it was the javelin tour before we had anything Idrisi. And I think we had the javelin tour before they tried out and showed off the Bengal. Obviously, it wasn't a tour of the Bengal, but it was just in the fleet, right?
But yeah, I'm hoping there'll be a continuity, like another step forward in that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. A bit of an evolution of what we've got. Yeah, it'd be cool if they add more ships to the military fleet, as it were.
Yeah.
I'd love to see where they are with like the Bengal and stuff. Yeah, we could see lots of different stuff, right? Because the Squadron 42 is getting pretty close to release. They're planning to release that in 2026, so there could be a load of those cool Squadron 42 ships there. And we do know from the monthly report as well that there are 4 to 7 ships and vehicles that Cloud Imperium are working on. Beyond...
Number unclear.
Yes, number unclear. And we do also know that there's a ATLS combat variant that they'd been showing off at Cloud Imperium. There's a Mantis fighter that they may have done a sneak peek for. Those are the sort of things that are very likely to turn up during Fleet Week because they're combat orientated, and Fleet Week is all about military and combat ships, and I suppose support ships and vehicles for that. Do you think we are going to see ATLS combat suit / Mantis fighter at Fleet Week, or do you think that's quite probable? Yeah, that's fine. You're allowed to have the opinion, I don't know, or it's 50-50.
So I'm hoping that combat suit is just a civilian version of an Atlas, an ATLS.
A civilian version of a combat version of the ATLS. Yeah, I agree, because it's a bit derpy.
Their idea of a military exosuit.
Yes. That's an interesting one as well. I don't think the ATLS is supposed to be a military thing at all. It is a civilian suit that's used for tractor beaming and lifting and mining now as well with the Geo. And I think anything that we see from that, more specifically, will be a civilian outfitted suit for combat purposes. I suspect if they do a military version, they might call it something entirely different, or it might be a lot cooler. I'm hoping that derpy one we saw is not a cool military one. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because you want jump jets on your military one, and you want it to look like it's a badass. What about the Mantis fighter?
I don't think so.
No?
Because we haven't seen anything about it.
Beyond the concept sort of talk about it.
So the fact that they've talked about it makes me think that it's not something they're going to keep hush-hush.
So it might have been shown in last week's sneak peek in the newsletter, but that is maybe. It was just a picture of a fin on a ship. A little spoilery fin thing. The thing with the Mantis fighter is that it would be relatively easy compared to making a whole new ship, of just making a variant fighter. We'll have to wait and see. You'll see some new vehicles and ships turn up for Fleet Week, and we don't know exactly what yet, but we'll talk about that more as we know, and expect, something to be evolving with the sandworms, because we know that they want big sandworm raids eventually. We know that they want larger sandworms with the adults and then the giant ones. We know that there's the regen crisis going on, and as I said, I think some of this might also be leading up to Nyx. Zin.
Yeah.
4.1's getting some more hotfixes.
Good.
Yes, indeed, good. So they released 4.1. There was a load of server instability, server lag, desyncy stuff going on, lots of instability and lots of bugs. They hotfixed a load of them out pretty quickly, although there was still more, and they're still sort of investigating and still running the hotfix channel up to solve more client crashes and cargo problems and stuff like that. So desyncing, server meshing problems, that sort of stuff, and things to do with minables, not being scannable or stop being mineable. Some minables, they're sort of trying to solve some of these problems still, but they'll continue with some more hotfixes over the coming week, I suspect, and potentially all the way up until 4.1.1 is actually released. What do you think of the way that CIG deal with this sort of stuff? It's just a good thing? They just keep on trying to hotfix it and try and solve it ASAP with some of the little bits? Or do you think it shouldn't get into a state where they release a patch and it sort of breaks the game temporarily?
I would, and I'm sure there is probably stuff out there, but it is very rare for any product, any like computer program to have a major patch release or even a minor patch release and not need a hotfix in some way.
Okay, yeah, just I see what you're saying. That is often the case with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like thinking that they could release something that does not require at least some form of hotfixing is just wishful thinking.
That said, when they release 1.0, I would expect much longer PTU phases and phase-in phases, as it were, because you can't have a major bug in the live build of a game when there's this much time, effort, and money flying around, right? So they have to minimize that. At the moment, it's alpha, and they need to push ahead. They're doing monthly patches. You're not going to see monthly patches in the same sort of way once 1.0 comes out. You might see monthly balance patches or something. Yeah, I'm totally with you. Like, it's expected to see hotfixes. I'd hope that we'll get into a position month on month, these sort of problems happen less and less and less, and the game overall each month becomes stable, because that's the idea. By the end of the year, really super playable Star Citizen, something that's more akin to a beta, in my opinion. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
Do you think CitizenCon Direct is fairs in? CIG put out a post about CitizenCon's happening on the 11th of October this year. Don't worry about booking a hotel or anything, guys, because we're doing things a little differently this year. There won't be a traditional in-person CitizenCon in 2025. We're going to be introducing CitizenCon Direct, a special digital showcase that brings the excitement straight to you. This year's format helps us keep the momentum going while still giving the community something truly special to look forward to. What do you think that means?
They want people working more on the game than on presentations for CitizenCon.
I think that's probably pretty fair. Also, I think that this means we're going to see for CitizenCon a relatively short, maybe like a few hours, 3 to 4 hours sort of, I'd say live stream. It might not even entirely be live stream. It could be a lot of videos and pre-recorded stuff if they wanted to, which makes more sense. But like a digital showcase of some cool presentations, some cool stuff they're working on, updates from last year's CitizenCon, some Squadron 42 things, some announcements, stuff like that in a much more controlled way, without the need for a physical event, which potentially costs CIG a lot of money.
Well, supposedly the tickets offset the cost. Like, yes. I could understand if they probably have to sink in some form of cost, but I thought the whole point of CitizenCon and buying tickets was that it doesn't use backers' money.
Yes, I believe that is supposed to be the case. They show off a load of cool stuff at CitizenCon, but I think this is just generally more accessible doing a direct one. I love a good con, as in a conference.
It's nice to bring people together.
Yes, and they've said as well that they still want to do that. They still want to have watch parties. They're still going to be encouraging the CIG developers and stuff to take part in the festivities and join in bar citizens and stuff around the world at the same time. So you might be able to have that form of community without the big expo, without the fan fest element. And I just think that this makes this a lot more accessible for people online in general. So this will be a much more concise and bite-sized chunk of data to consume for people. This is going to be a lot more pretty stuff for people to clip and put up. This is going to be a much more tailored marketing event where you're going to see lots of cool stuff, and they're going to be encouraging you to buy ships and to get new people into the game and go, look, Squadron 42 is coming out next year. It's a good start for their proper Squadron 42 launch campaign, in my opinion. And Star Citizen 1.0 is not too far away, sort of thing. Do you think that's all fair? Or do you think I'm mad by thinking some of that?
No, I think that's pretty fair.
Because obviously this is all over a single day. And do you think that this is going to be like a 2-hour thing or a 4-hour thing or an all-day thing?
I think it's probably going to be similar to the one they did, was it the year after COVID?
The digital CitizenCon. Yes,
yeah.
Okay. So for that they had a big sit down for some of it, with Chris and stuff, and that was actually pretty cool. They've said this is going to be live streamed on Twitch and YouTube. Because it's live streamed, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is all live.
Yeah.
It's going to all be entirely pre-recorded. It could be partly live. It's not going to have fluff in between the segments. Well, not much fluff, because they don't need to have the an hour or whatever break for lunch or for devs to rest or whatever before the next presentation. There's no setup required. It's much more sensible for CIG's marketing and making money doing CitizenCon Direct. It's not as fun for people attending the event, though, because there's no event to attend.
And no doubt they'll have a ridiculously overpriced digital goodies pack.
Yes, almost certainly, along with probably lots of other stuff to buy that is CitizenCon exclusive. I suspect they'll have a digital goodies pack and lots of minor skins and things that you can also buy separately, and special CitizenCon ships and stuff they release as well. They'll want to make it a big marketing event in the same way as Fleet Week, in the same way as the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. That's what they're going to want to do. That's my opinion on it, and Sin agrees with me. Anyway,
yes, I do.
Referral program. So I want to talk to you a bit about this. Obviously, our opinions are our own on this.
Mm-hmm.
I have a totally different take on it than Sin, I would expect. And I know some people have been hard done by this. I'm not. I'm sympathetic to some people. I'm not to others. It is, as I said, my opinion, and I'm willing to sort of have my mind changed on it. There is a new referral reward scheme coming from CIG starting July 1st. At least that's the plan. They previously had currently still have a referral program where if you recruit someone signs up with your referral code, and then later on they buy at least $40 worth of ships or like a ship package or whatever, you get a recruitment point. These recruitment points add up to ships and free gifts and stuff like that on your Star Citizen account, all the way up to 2,000 referrals, you get a Javelin, or 2,042 referrals or something like that.
I think it's 2017.
2017 referrals. I think you are right. It's 1,042 referrals to get the Million Mile High Club access, and it's 2017 because that's the year of the Gamescom or the whatever it was, CitizenCon or whatever they had the prize come out with. So if you get 2017, get a Javelin. Obviously, you'll get it when it's available for players to use. But with the new system, everyone starts with 0 again. So they're wiping the slate clean. You obviously keep any rewards that you'd already got because they're attributed to your account, but your referral's 0. What do you think of that so far, Zin?
It seems like a interesting idea.
Okay. Do you think it's unfair to people at all?
Yes.
In what cases do you think it's unfair?
I think it's unfair for the people who are trying to reach the next tier and are unlikely to reach it by July 1st?
Yeah, they've given 3 months, basically.
Yeah.
Do you think they should have given a year warning, or do you think they should be actually, the old referral stuff will stay there until you hit the next reward?
I think the latter. For me, well, not for me, because I don't care. My next tier is like some more Arena Commander ships, so I'm not really fussed.
Do you like the idea that CIG could go, we're actually going to, whatever you're at, we're going to give you the next reward if you're part of the way there?
I see that is also unfair.
Is that just too much?
So there are people who are a third of the way from one tier to getting a Javelin, but that is like 1,000 referrals in itself to go from the previous tier to the next tier. And that is a bit ridiculous to just go, you have a Javelin, go on, it's all right.
Well, I'm up for that. I'd be fine with that. Because I think that those people have generated so much in referrals for CIG. It's a hard one. I think there are some people, and obviously this is mainly content creators and org leaders. I mean, there's probably a few other people in event organizers and things like that as well, maybe. People that have a big social media presence, basically, that have gone, I've got those 2,000 referrals I need for the Javelin, and now I've got another 10,000 on my account. Some of those people are going to be annoyed that their referrals above 2,000 are worth nothing to them.
So, I don't know if you're finished, but my argument to that is your referrals above that were always worth nothing.
Yes, I don't really understand people being some people being annoyed by that. But I suppose you don't want to lose something that was there, right? You're like, oh, that's cool that I got so many. Yeah, it is. Should they carry over to the next scheme? Well, you're going to get the top level of rewards for the next scheme eventually anyway, right?
Yeah, you generally, the people who have achieved this are people who are in a position to get lots of referrals anyway.
And I am going to say something now. I hope it's not controversial. This scheme is not supposed to be for content creators.
No.
CIG, in their foolishness back in the day, they made that Javelin reward and they had like a Gamescom reward or something where they went, oh, whoever has the most referrals at this time will get an expenses paid trip to Gamescom or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And then the next person will get an Idris M. And they went, oh, and we're going to share some of the people's referral codes that you might want to help. That was a really foolish marketing tactic because the scheme is not supposed to be, at least from my point of view, is not supposed to be for content creators. It's supposed to be to get players to refer their friends, get their mates playing and all enjoying the game together and reward those people for doing that, which is why the new scheme has more rewards at the lower end of the scale.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that? Do you think that's a much better idea? It's not supposed to be for content creators. It's not supposed to be for org leaders. It's supposed to be for everyone to share and everyone to get some cool stuff.
Yeah. I think it's better to have more rewards lower.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, there's pretty big gaps in the current one, like between the higher levels.
Yeah.
But these people who've well exceeded 2017 referral points, like they could have been boosting other people. They could have.
Yep.
So, for example, the person who has the most referral points, they've got enough points for 9 javelins.
Is that Morph?
Yes. They've only earned one. Yeah. They've only earned one. They could have given them to other people, and there could have been 8 more people out there with javelins.
Yes, they could have. They could have done a referral randomizer. They could have just given it to changed their code to one of their Patreons or friends and family or whatever.
People in their community.
People in their community, something like that. And I think that's a relatively good idea to have done that. But I suppose they didn't know how it was all going to pan out, right?
No, that's fair enough.
And some content creators probably didn't realise how many referrals they have or had until they looked at it recently and went, oh. Yeah, I'm much more into a scheme which is clearly tailored for non-content creators. And I don't think that the scheme ever was intended for content creators. They just added some high-level rewards that they went, oh yeah, let's give something to content creators. Content creators get stuff from CIG anyway, not all of them, but CIG do give some content creators free ships for giveaway. They do support content creators with they raid them, they give them shout-outs. There's obviously the hub for videos. They try to help their community grow and their content creators grow. And that is the way that their content creators get rewarded typically. The referral system shouldn't be the reward for content creators, nor do I necessarily say that content creators should get anything specifically major for the game beyond maybe the ability to have a account that's not theirs as a press account to be able to try out new ships to get footage on them, but not to keep them.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, have it on a PTU build or something like that that's not on the real servers. You go, we've identified you as press. You get all the ships on the PTU just to try and make footage on. Give me that, CIG. Give me that. I am empathetic to people who are really, really ground this and are really close to 100 away from the Million Mile High Club or a javelin or something, and realistically might not be able to get it now. Potentially CIG will come up with a solution because they did say that it's not set in stone yet. They do want it to make it so that it's not a horrible process and that everyone's not going, oh God, this is awful. But there is a tiny amount of people affected by this. That's not to say that they shouldn't address it. It's just to say when it's like a 99-1 issue, 99% of the people are going to genuinely benefit from the new system, and 1% are going to be like, oh, well, our progress doesn't carry over, but we'll be able to get a load of cool new stuff. Because you're only getting new and more stuff, right? With the new system. Yeah. Well, unless you were just about to get a javelin. If you're just about to get a javelin, tell me in the comments below if this has really affected you and you're like, no, honestly, this is really annoying what CIG have done here. Yeah, chuck it in the comments below. And obviously, they might change their mind. Is there any other way you could see CIG doing this to be more fair?
I don't know. It's a difficult one.
Because whatever they do, some people will see it as unfair in some ways.
Yeah. Give people the option to reach the next tier if they're on their way to the next tier. Maybe give some sort of conversion to the excess points you've got.
Oh, that's going to annoy some people because then they go, well, you feel entitled to those points? Oh, okay, well, let's just give content creators the maximum level on the new system. I don't know. I'm happy to start at 0 again, but I've already got my maximum reward.
Or maybe give some sort of token reward to these people who have, you say, gone above and beyond. I don't know how much effort they've actually put into having their referral code used.
I'd say for the most part, for most people, the referral code stuff is just a byproduct of them making videos, right? And being popular in other ways or having a good social media presence for the most part.
But I don't know.
Yeah, it's an odd one because there's lots of different things there. Yeah, maybe give a token thing when you're beyond a certain level. Maybe give everyone the next tier up of what they already had. Maybe allow them to attain that and just say you are actually forever. You're going to be allowed to attain the next reward, whatever that was. But once you hit that, you're done. There's a lot of stuff they could do. We'll see what CIG does. I'm really happy to see a new set of rewards, a new ladder, and they're going to be Squadron 42 as well as Star Citizen based.
Yes.
So not entirely sure what that means. It could be Squadron 42-esque ships and skins, I suppose. But obviously they're going to be a lot more tailored and relevant as well, because some of the old rewards are like stuff for Arena Commander or stuff that's a little bit less relevant now. But tell us what you would like to see rewards rise in the comments below as well. Do you expect with this new system that they will have ridiculously high 5,000 rewards sort of ratings, or is it going to be under 1,000?
I think that, they'll probably have a ridiculously high
ceiling for it.
Like 29.42 or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But I think they also need to make it more clear that there probably won't be any rewards after this, or there might be a new reward program after this.
Yeah, or there's every point you get beyond this, you get rewarded 1,000 UEC.
Yeah, or something like that.
A token thing that you get. It'll be interesting to see what CIG do there. I'm interested to know what other people think. Are you excited for CitizenCon Direct? Are you excited for a new referral program? Are you disappointed by anything there? And what do you think we're going to see for Alpha 4.1.1? And what are your experiences of 4.1 live currently with all those new hotfixes in? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it indifferent? Zin!
Yes.
What are we giving away this month?
Oh, we're giving away 3 Drake Golems. All with lifetime insurance and a game package.
Yeah, one of those was given to us by CIG.
Thank you, CIG.
Thanks for that. There's obviously going to be 3 separate winners, each winning a single Drake Golem. All you need to do is comment on any of our videos made during the month of April to be in for a chance of winning that, including this video if you want. NordVPN, do you like NordVPN, Zin?
Yes.
Perfect. That's exactly right. Because NordVPN helps you with security, privacy, and accessibilities of the interwebs. I love it, and you should click the links below if you want it. It helps the channel out as well, as does clicking the links down below for things like THRUSTMASTER or Toby Eye Tracker. Both great things for the Star Citizens. You should click the links down below, and that might make you happier. Who knows? It makes me happier, gives me money. Pays Zin's wages. You like your wages, don't you, Zin?
I do like my wages.
That's great. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
Thanks. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Very much appreciated for you watching. Have a great rest of your April.